What's up, everybody, and happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. They are linked there as usual. So we have one more Florida event to talk about. You guys have been getting hit back to back to back here, so we got another map for you to go over at the beginning of the show. Then getting into today's forecast, yes, gorilla hail possible. Not often that we use that term, but there is large hail on the horizon in Texas today. Who's going to get hit and when, going over all of that. And then into our weekend storm risk. There is potential that we could see more storms continuing through the Gulf states into your Saturday. So we'll go over all that good stuff here in a moment. But first, come see us at the Atlas All-Stars Stadium Tour. This next event is going to be in Denver, Colorado. Oklahoma City is no more. We canceled that one, I guess. But Denver, Colorado is going to be our next event at Coors Field. And if you guys want to register for that, you can go to atlasroofing.com/events to access. It's going to be on May 18th, and it's a great time. It's Denver. Who doesn't love Denver? So come on, get out there, say hello to us at the Hail Trace crew. We're going to have giveaways, and Derek is going to be the keynote speaker. So go say hey to Derek. Then into yesterday. So we had a ton going on through multiple areas. We got some scattered wind that passed through the, Rocky Mountain West into the Central Plains. And then once we got down into Texas, just a few scattered reports from the remnants of yesterday morning and early afternoon storms. Southeast is really where we got the bulk of our hail and wind events, specifically Florida once again. So as that system tracked through the Panhandle area, produced hail, wind, tornadoes, the works. Specifically, one little cell here near Panama City got going pretty good. So we're going to take a look at our hailstorm highlight for that. It is a 3-star map, and there's a couple areas here that we'll zoom in on here in a second, but near Jacksonville, as well as that cell near Panama City that really did the bulk of that hail into yesterday. So for that Panama City swath, just came up on shore, started dropping major hail, as well as some tornadoes through the Southport Laguna Beach area, up to 2.5-inch stones with that swath before it tapered off near Youngstown. Then off towards Jacksonville, we did get golf balls on the south end of the city there with that storm, and then more 2.5-inch hail near Crescent Beach. So multiple areas getting hit with large hail there. Max size on that map is 2.5 inches. Impacted over 58,000 homes with all those storms combined. So go ahead and check out that map there. It's titled Lynn Haven, Panama City, and Jacksonville, Florida hail. If you guys don't have our products yet, go ahead and scan that QR code up above me or click the link in our description, and that'll take you to get a demo of our products or to sign up if you're interested in doing that. But yeah, another big one for Florida into yesterday, so we're moving on into today, see what we can continue to get. Florida, you are still in your own risk. And Texas, I think, is where that largest hail is going to be centered. So looking at that, we got nice clear skies over central Texas right now. Got that system getting ready to push through, and with the cold front passing through the area, storms are expected to initiate here in the next few hours, potentially dropping some very large hail. Then across the East Coast, you can see that system kind of trying to move its way out, and behind it we could get a few more storms, just remnants of that system forming into today. Going to be very scattered, but still a chance to see some hail and wind as well with those. So, rest of the nation starting to warm up just a touch here, maybe 63 in Kansas City, but we're still staying pretty chilly for anywhere north of, Denver's at 46, Minneapolis is at 48 there. So still feeling like early spring, even though it's late April. Down south is really the only area where we have those nice temperatures, 70 in Dallas, 79 in Houston, 85 in Miami, and that'll help us out with our storms in those areas for today. So, taking a look at our jet stream setup, this is what we have going right now. We got this trough making its way through. That's what's going to drive those East Coast storms and those Florida storms into later this afternoon. And then the back end of this has, again, a shortwave trough. It's just a mini trough coming off the major trough here. So we got a shortwave trough getting ready to make its way through Texas into the next couple hours. There it is by 2 p.m., shifting a little bit southward into the region before it ultimately spins down towards the Gulf Coast on your Saturday and then makes its way across for more storm chances. But that little guy is going to be an integral factor in our storm risks for today into tomorrow. So we're watching that before it ultimately moves off the East Coast. And then we got to wait for this guy to move in next behind it for the start of next week. So instability-wise, looking pretty good. If you guys are in either risk area, specifically Texas, again, for that large hail, you guys are starting to get up towards the high instability values, and this is just how much lift there is in the atmosphere to push that moisture up and form hail. So that's what we have here, making its way up past San Antonio and into the Waco area by around 2, continuing up to the north by around 4 p.m. when storms will get going, and then it's going to continue to push our way back down. Now the East Coast, we're staying pretty consistent with these values all day, enough to get us some quarters to half dollars through most of the area. It's just really going to be those big guys consistently down in Texas here before that eventually moves off the coast into this afternoon, evening, and the overnight. So for the East Coast, again, it's going to stay very scattered. I mean, you can see not a ton of storm coverage across the region here. We got some cells moving through Virginia, North Carolina, as well as some lingering near the Savannah, Georgia, Jacksonville corridor there. And a couple of those could get going, produce some large hail. For you guys in Florida, there's some cells that look a little bit better than others with that sea breeze influence that we've been seeing the past few days. Those could get you more large hail into today. The rest of us north of that and more inland should stay pretty consistent with quarter to half dollar sized hail while those storms kind of linger through the area into this evening and overnight. Then we should see some clearing out by, the early overnight hours, like 2 a.m. should be a little bit quieter for you. Then in Texas, there you go. 2:30 p.m. already getting some angry storms developing just south of I-20, I guess to the southwest of Dallas there. And these storms have the tendency to split apart. So here's what we're looking at for you guys in Dallas. Things do look like they're going to initiate to your south, but anything that does split from these cells could potentially meander its way up into Dallas. So know that. If it splits, it could track into the DFW metro area, but right now it's looking like the bulk of things staying south, making a run more at like the Waco area, like Waxahachie is down there. Could potentially see some very large hail with these cells as they kind of thread the needle between Austin and DFW proper. Tracking over I-35, I would not be surprised. We were talking on the Met team today. Wouldn't be surprised if somewhere on the I-35 corridor today gets softballs. I mean, these cells are doing some pretty angry runs on our forecast models. Environmental conditions are there to get us some really large hail with these. And they're going to continue to track to the southwest, spreading that way, making a run now at San Antonio by around 7 p.m. all the way down to Laredo, possible with that cells or with those cells before the north end starts to kind of band up and track southeastward towards the Houston area, fizzling out once it reaches the Gulf Coast. So really, if you guys are along the I-35 corridor in Texas today, everybody's got a chance to see some severe hail. The center of that is going to be near Waco, and we'll get into the specifics here in a minute, but I would not be surprised if someone in that 35 corridor area sees softball-sized hail today, 3.5 inch. Again, it's looking like a pretty haily day for the 35 corridor, so we're watching out for that. So now let's get into it. Hail size-wise, here's our 2 risk areas. We got purple on the map for you guys in Texas, and then a little bit of orange along that sea breeze area in Florida. So getting started in there for our city-specific forecast, anywhere from Brownsville up to Shreveport, could see severe hail with the remnants of that system, but again, right along 35. We have those storms initiating and then spreading down to the southwest. That's where you could potentially see the really large hail. But we're just going to leave Waco in the high risk for today because, that's ultimately where things have been pretty consistently showing cells running through, all right? And then again, if anything splits and tracks up northward through DFW, you guys could get some large hail, 2 to 2.5 inch. It's just dependent on the track of those storms. So leaving you guys in a moderate, leaving San Antonio and Laredo in a moderate as well to see if things line up before, or if they stay singular before they track through the city. Regardless, 35 corridor, that's the ultimate takeaway from this. You guys could potentially see large hail starting in a few hours here and tracking through the late evening. Then off into Florida. Again, we're keeping the sea breeze area in our ping pong to golf ball size range for today, but really anybody from Melbourne all the way up into Columbia, Roanoke, Norfolk there really could see some severe hail. It's going to be very scattered, low end across the board, but we could see some storms kind of popcorning through the area into this afternoon and evening. So that's our hail risk for today. We got a city forecast for you guys if you're in Dallas or Waco. So we kind of touched on Dallas a little bit. Storm timeline, things should be starting up through your area by around 4 p.m. here. And then the remnants of those, louder thunderstorms, thunder, lightning, etc., moving out by around 10 p.m. If a storm splits and tracks northward into Dallas, you could get 2-inch hail, but that's going to be kind of dependent and conditional. So chance of 1-inch hail is moderate, and if a cell does track through, chance of seeing large hail with that is moderate. So DFW, again, conditional risk for you guys today. Now into Waco, it's a little bit different. Again, we talked about it a little bit, but storms starting around 3 p.m., moving out by around 8, so a little bit of a shorter timeline there, but any storms that do form could get up to, again, softball-sized hail, 3.5 inch with that. It's likely that you'll see severe hail in or around the area, so high risk for seeing severe hail today. And if you do see severe hail, chance that it could be large hail is also, up there. So we got a moderate for you guys for that into today. So that's our city forecast for Waco and DFW. Again, if you guys have questions, drop them in the comments. But we'll get into the wind forecast for today, East Coast as well as Texas. So leaving Waco as well as San Antonio as the two best cities to see strong winds with any of those storms, then DFW, Houston, Laredo. You guys could also see some solid gusts as those storms track through. So, today's a good day to secure any lawn furniture in your area and kind of, get ready for these storms to pass through. Shreveport, Brownsville, you guys got a chance as well, lower end, since things should be tapering off as they hit your area. Then off into the East Coast, same story as with the hail risk. It's going to be very scattered today throughout the area, so low end chance across the board. But if you're any of these highlighted cities, same thing, good day to be paying attention to your weather and making sure that you got everything outside secured. Could get some strong winds passing through with any of those isolated storms. Then for tornadoes, just going to keep that centered in Texas, all the way from DFW down to Laredo, where you got those isolated cells, plenty of rotation going through, and again, environmental conditions show some rotating updrafts and storms. So Waco, San Antonio, moderate risk for you guys. Still waiting for hits in the Midwest. Yeah, later on this season, it's usually Midwest season a little bit later, so a month or two from now, we'll see what we can get. I know Chicago got a crazy storm a little while ago, so there is that, but we'll see what we can get for the Midwest. But yeah, Waco and San Antonio for tornadoes, got a moderate chance for you guys with that. DFW, Laredo, low end chances for kind of the reasons we were talking about a little bit before. Then for tomorrow, I want to take a look at our significant hail model. Again, the sea breeze has been influential in making that large hail through Florida, but we still have some high values forming on our significant hail model for tomorrow all the way through a lot of the peninsula, and we'll have multiple rounds of storms. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if Florida gets yet another day of large hail into tomorrow. Looking at that coming on shore on radar, we've got those cells starting at around noon, making their way through like Panama City to Jacksonville area, and then spreading all the way down the coast later on. Any of those isolated cells could do what they've been doing for the past few days, producing large hail. And keeping on through the rest of the afternoon. We'll see those move off, and then this band makes its way through Tampa by around 8 p.m. Could see some heavy rain with that, thunder, lightning, less on the hail risk and more maybe on the strong winds here and there. But that's going to make its way off the coast, and then we'll see more storms moving on by Sunday at 4 a.m. So Florida, you guys are getting back to back, etc. risks with these storms passing through. Large hail, wind, and tornadoes all possible as those lines continue to pass over the peninsula yet again and again. So for your risk for tomorrow, I'm going to keep everywhere from the Panhandle down into the central and sort of southern part of the peninsula just north of Miami there in our hail risk, quarters to $half possible anywhere. Largest hail here, 2 to 2.5 inch, is going to be likeliest from Jacksonville to Melbourne, and you guys both have a moderate chance of seeing hail with those storms forming along this coastal area with that sea breeze. So that's kind of going to be the setup for Florida for the next, for the last few days, for the next couple as well. So buckle up, Florida. It's continuing your way. Then for wind, I'm going to extend it a little bit through more of the southeast to account for the north end of that low pressure system that's going to be passing through your area. So if you guys are anywhere from, honestly, New Orleans all the way into Columbia, South Carolina, you could see some strong winds. Tallahassee has the most coverage of storms continuously passing up and over the area. So you guys have the best chance in the region to see some high winds, but really anywhere that's highlighted here could see some gusts of 60 miles an hour or stronger. So severe winds there, and again, enough to blow some lawn chairs around or anything, so be on the lookout for that. Then last but not least, tornado forecast. All the way pretty much for where we had our hail forecast, it's pretty consistent between hail and tornadoes where you get those rotating supercells. There's a chance for both. So Tallahassee, moderate chance for you guys. And then if you're in the central part of the peninsula there, you guys do have a low end chance to see some storms producing short-lived tornadoes through your area as well into your Saturday. So that's all we have for today. It's just a little bit, but it seems like a lot. So follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. Smash that subscribe button everywhere else. And we've been going live with our chase streams on TikTok more, so make sure to follow that if you want to see our storm chase and shenanigans. Then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. You guys can scan that QR code up above me or click the link in the description to sign up for our products or get a demo. And we'll keep you updated as your severe weather risks come along. We'll see what happens in Texas and Florida today. And we'll let you know, follow our stories, and we post up-to-date information on that. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.